Take two. Let's see what happens. All right, Dante just invited you. Jakeem, I just invited you. All right, Dr. Cynthia, please show up now. Let's see, maybe I can put her in. Okay, there we go.
Nikki, what did I tell you? I don't care if I come on. Just keep talking.
I'm talking to the air. I don't like that.
So just keep going. Don't worry about it. It's like, yo, what part you don't understand? Just keep going.
I heard you, and I just told you I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, just keep going. Don't stop. Like if you got an audience, you got people listening to you, just go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Who cares?
All right. Well, I'm glad you're on here.
I would. I be talking to them.
All right. I can't find Dr. Cynthia, though. I don't know what else to do. I don't know if she's on. I don't know if she's hanging out or she... I assume that she knows Jakeem's handle, but... I don't know. Dante, can you invite... Oh, there she is. All right, let's see if she... Hey, hi, Dr. Cynthia. All right, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I just sent you an invitation.
Act like you've been there before, but just go. Just go. Say hello to everybody, tell them what you do, and keep it moving. But I can't get them on. I mean, be professional. Just go.
All right, I just sent it again, Dr. Cynthia. There we go.
Hello.
Woo! Hi.
Good morning. Sorry I couldn't find you guys.
No, that's okay. Good morning. So
Good
nice to
morning.
meet you.
Showtime. Oh, yeah.
My name is Nikki. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Nikki. And I already know Dante, so.
Of course, of
Good.
course. All right, we're going to try one more time to get Jakeem on here.
Yeah.
All right, I just invited him. Thank you so much for coming on this morning. I'm sorry for the change in time at the last moment.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all good. I understand.
Good. So I loved both videos. I really enjoyed listening to your words and your soothing voice, and it was nice to always learn something a little bit different about mental health, and each person has their own take on what it means. But I want to ask you, you talked about your journey and on how you got here, but I have a question about anything in your past that came up that made it more solidified for you. So you went to school, you had a certain path to be a pediatrician, and then you kind of got diverted when you did the camp and then the counseling. But is there anything that came up in your upbringing that kind of connected everything all together for you?
Well, I think in growing up, it was always good to have community around and to take care of each other. The time I grew up here in Haiti, it was just like a village, raise your kids. So my aunts, my grandmother were around, the neighbor next door were around. So it was just like a community, like we used to say back in the day, like a village would raise your kids. That's what I grew up with. You know, I would dare not be outside and do something wrong. There's some eye out there seeing something that could go back to my parents, say, by the way, I see your daughter doing X, Y, and Z. So you always were on target because you know there was eyes on you, and which we don't have that anymore. So growing up in that aspect of having a community around you, it was good to already know that you need to take care of each
Right.
other. Whether you're like brothers or sisters or family or non, it's like you're there to take care of each other. So I grew up with that mentality to be able to take care of each other. So
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because I don't know. I think I've found a lot of the people that I've listened to or I've talked to, or even that Dante has brought on before, it seems like they get to that place of being able to help others from such a deep place of despair and trouble growing up. But again, I don't know your past, but it seems like you came out of a light and saw what you was missing today of what you had in the past. And I agree. Like I wanted to raise my daughter that way in a community of being able to go out and play outside and to be around other people, knowing that my community is watching her. And I think that's just a fundamental piece that's just so gone so astray from the children today. And having someone like you and then programs that you were involved in, I think is just so important, but just it's not enough. It's not, I don't know. I just feel like we needed to be doing more for our youth in order to bring them up as adults who are healthy and able to take care of their own. So
Yeah, and it's so funny that today but you didn't even know today you chose that day to have me on and talk about mental health. And the last 9 days I pray, I'm Catholic. The last 9 days I pray a novena for mental health illnesses. And I especially focus on my clients and anyone else that have mental illnesses, and everyone could come and pray with me and bring any attention of that. And today is actually the feast day of that saint. And she was martyred when she was very young, and by her father, because her father wanted to marry her. So, and she said no to that, and he literally beheaded her. So, and she's not at the center for illnesses, mental illness, because you have to be mental ill to really do something like that to your own daughter. So that was incest involved. So she's known to be the saint of mental health illnesses, abuse, domestic violence, all kinds of stuff like that. And for the nice day, I pray that, and today is actually the feast day, and you guys didn't even know that you actually asked me on to come on that feast day.
oh wow.
Yeah. So, and some of the folks who are here actually prayed the novena with me, and I told them, invited them to come today if they wanted to hear about that topic today. And so it's kind of really like confirmation that you guys actually put me up to talk about that on that day.
So that you said that's today, like as in later, or that on the you were interviewed?
No, no, like what I mean, like today's a feast day, but the last 9 days prior
Okay.
to today, I pray that live every day to that sense for intercession, and some of the folks here would pray with me, but it was for my clients and also for anyone who have mental health illnesses. So, so I think that's important that you guys didn't even know about that when you're asking to come in that Wednesday, that you didn't even know that was going to be on the feast day of that sense. So, so that tells me that it's confirming that everything, even when we were talking about mental health and having me be interviewed, and I think Dante and I touched on that the first day we started doing that, it's when we started talking about mental health, and it was the month of May, mental health. And so yeah, so everything comes, there's a purpose for everything.
I agree. So what does that entail for you today? If it's the last day, will you have a group come in, or will you do another live?
No, we finished the night yesterday, but today's the feast day. We're still gonna pray and still lift them if everyone asked for those prayers live later on. So you wouldn't know that, because I make sure that I told them today it is not praying live, it's something different, but later on this afternoon I take a break from work and then I go live and pray. I do that every day, but in particular was that attention for the month of May because of mental health illness. I was focusing on that particularly. So yeah.
Wow.
So it's like I was driving today to work and I was like, oh my goodness, like how the heck did they know to pick today up? Don't know when today's the feast of Saint Daphne. Her name is Saint Daphne. So yeah, so that does just tell me like how everything fits together. So
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing how it all aligned. I love that. Do have a question for you. What is your process when you start with a client? Being a practitioner, it can be a little bit cold in some regards, whether you like go to the doctor, you have to fill out all this paperwork, and it doesn't feel that great. So kind of how do you start with clientele, and how do you bring them in to warm them up and open them up to talk?
I try to be myself because there's no other way. you know, because you cannot be able to bring somebody else. You can be yourself, authentic self. So I try to be as authentic as I can be within the boundaries of my practice. So I'm honest. I say I'm very direct in my style. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. I give homework. I'm expecting you to be as committed as you are to this process because you're not going to come here because you don't want to. So I try to be as direct as I'm with you and honest with them. For anybody who walks to my door and say to them, this is a safe place for you to be. You can cry, you can laugh. I got tissue here. That's your place to, when you come in here, the world start exists, but you exist in your own treatment, what you want to do for yourself. So I make them feel at ease by really reminding them what they're here for and what I can do to offer support and make sure that they're actually going to get the work done.
Okay. And then do you kind of mold that after, as that patient progresses, that you're constantly changing your modalities and what they need over time so that they progress? Or do you have more of a rigid plan for each person?
No, I adapt it to who they are. Some people might need a bit of more challenge. Some people might be like me, just being there with them. Like I had a client who told me this week, Cynthia, last week you brought up the whip and I had to get the work done. I'm like, well, after a few weeks of me saying something to you over and over again, I know that I needed to just raise up the challenge a little bit. And sure enough, she got things done and she felt better.
Good.
And she repeated everything at the beginning I was telling her. She repeated everything back to me. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm hearing myself talk. But she was smiling, laughing. She was happier. And she's like, this is so much better than what I was trying to do. And I did that to a couple of clients this week. And they tell me that too. The challenge, the first time I have to challenge them. When obviously you have to get a nice relationship with them to be able to do that because you don't want to scare them away. When you think they're at that level, they can do that. For example, I had another client for the whole semester. We worked so hard to get him to do his work, to get ready, to get focused, and he was about to graduate in this May. And then he has one paper away to finish making some revision to be given in so he can walk in. It's like, he says, I don't think I can do it. It's like, you know what, next week when I see you, we got 2 days to get this done. Next week I see you, better tell me you're walking on stage. Sure enough, he came back, he told me he's walking. So, and he said, thank you for your support. I think he did just need that little rise of like, okay, I don't want to hear anything, excuses from you. I don't care what you're saying. I've been there, done that. Because, you know, when you're really that tough and like everything you've done and you're so tired, you don't feel like doing anything, like mentally you're stressed, you're drained, you don't feel like at that last little push and somebody push you. And then something like that's all you need to be able to do it. So like 2 weeks, like there's a couple of clients, I had to bring the whip down and they thanked me because they realized this is what they needed to be done. They didn't have the last strength, but the push that I gave them make them really push deep down to be able to make that next step work for them. So it depends on where they are in their journey and whether or not they're ready for that push. I just kind of like play by ear with each person. So because sometimes I have to sit with some of them because they're not ready yet.
Right.
And there's sometimes when I know they need that little push, I just push it. It's just an assessment.
Yeah.
The client at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I do the same thing, and it's that tough love that you're able to. So, for example, I'm an online fitness and nutrition coach, and it just morphs into so much more because it's not. You can't separate any of it. You can't separate from mental health. You can't separate it, the physical from the mental, or from your family. So I have to kind of intertwine what I do with the family, their job, with everything that they have going on in their life. And I just love the point where you just put that little punch in there and it's just enough to get the result. And then you just see them open up and flourish. And for example, the graduation or, you know, the other client just feeling so much better. It's the coolest thing. It's just like you have a sense of when they need what they need, and you're able to like move them more, you know, wherever that they're going. But real quick, there is Susan just asked what time you're going live and praying today.
1:15.
1:15
Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
Okay, 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. All right, amazing. Oh, let me go down. So Dante, do you have anything to add? You're just sitting here chilling.
Listen, I told her that was my favorite episode, and watching part 2 when we talked about marriage and everything, because a lot of people didn't. One of the things I want to say this, right? Why is it when we as a society and we as a community say we want to better ourselves, but when the information is provided, they refuse to take it in, they refuse to accept it, apply it? That's my question.
Well, I can answer for myself personally. I do the same thing because I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. And it has to come at the right time, just like what Dr. Cynthia was saying. When you know how to punch that specific way that you're trying to get someone to do what they need to do, I'm the same way. So for example, my fiance can tell me something 20 times, but one of my friends might say the exact same thing, and then I'll be receptive to it. But I do get there eventually. So I guess, Dr. Cynthia, in your experience, why aren't people listening at all? Why aren't they making that step, or even trying, or even trying to listen to someone else to move forward and make those changes that they're literally crying about them, but they're doing nothing about it?
I think it's fair. I think a lot of time people like afraid to go to because for example, I had a client yesterday I was talking to, and father passed away a long time ago, 11 years ago, but she's in denial about the death and not able to process that. And I told her it's going to be a tough journey between you and I, but we can do it together. And she's crying and she knows it. And I think it's sometimes a lot of time fear stop people from really going through the process of what they need to do.
Mhm.
The fear of the unknown, what's going to come up. They're very comfortable sometimes in where they're at right now in that journey, then to try to, and we create a habit. It's not for us to say, oh my goodness, I have to transition into something different. Like I have to be able to accept something that I'm not even know if that's going to work for me. This I know work for me, and I know what to expect from this journey. But what if I change and it doesn't work for me? Like what? It says a lot of what, if. And I think that sometimes stop people from really fully exploring life because they're afraid of changes, afraid of what might happen. And I'm the kind of person, I'm very adventurous. I'm always digging to other things. I'm not afraid to try new things. So I try to bring that aspect to my clients. The minute you walk in my office, if you're gonna stay with me in that journey, you're gonna be a wild ride because I'm gonna take you places in your own journey that you probably didn't want to go, but I'm gonna take you there. Sometimes clients come for one thing, and before you know it, we explore the part. I'm like, I know that you didn't then going to come to that, but I feel like this is just a roadblock for you. And eventually will come up. Sure enough, we're talking about it. You know, I have clients say to me, like, I didn't even come for that. Look at it. I'm actually exploring part of my life that I need healing from. I think it's a lot of time fear. Not so much, I don't see so much stubbornness that some people, I think it's a lot of fear. People are very afraid sometimes of changes or things they don't know about, very comfortable in their own pain. If serve a purpose for them, so they want to stick with it. It's like it's a carrot pocketbook so close to you, don't want to let go because you have money in it. That's what their pain feel like. That
Ooh,
it's that
comfortable in
kind of
your
how they
own
hold on to
pain.
it.
Wow.
What'd
That was,
you say?
yo, expound on that. Comfortable in your own pain. Cause
Yeah.
that's interesting. It's like, cause my thing is like, if you know the answer's right there, and all you have to do is accept it and apply it, why would you be comfortable in pain when you know it hurts?
But you know what though? It's easier because no, you find a way to deal with it. Some people in pain, sometimes they don't take the medication. The doctor say you have to do X, Y, and Z. Do those exercises and you get better. Like if you go to physical therapy. But you know what? If I do the exercises, it hurts. But you know what? You're not going to get anything out of it by not doing it. I eventually get better. I tell my clients all the time, I said, when we first started the journey together, you know what? It's going to hurt. I said to my client last night, let me tell you, it's going to be very painful. But I'm going to be with you in that journey. I will pray for it because I'm ready to go into that. It's going to be very powerful journey for you, but we're gonna get there, but it's gonna be hurting you a lot. Because I could tell already last night she was crying and crying, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be painful. But you know what? It's you. Are you ready for that healing? She's like, I'm ready. It's been 11 years. That's what I want to hear. So I'm gonna take that journey with her, and I said, I'm gonna walk you through that, and I'm gonna be every step of the way with you. And when I need to pull you out of that pain and make you feel a little bit better, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna monitor how much pain you're going through during the process, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah, it's like you're able to get them to purge everything. Like you
Yeah.
said, where the intention was for one thing and something else comes out, but everything's so interconnected. So,
Yeah.
you realize that something that happened that one time that you just had put away could have been what cascaded you to where you're at, but you don't make that connection. So like when you get people talking and releasing, they can really find what it is that is the cornerstone of all that pain. But yeah, I mean, I was in an abusive relationship for many years, and it was safe in a way because it was all I knew. And
Yeah.
so it felt so scary to jump away because I had all these fears of what could go wrong, even though I knew I was hurting myself and my daughter at the same time. So it was just, I was in this dichotomy of just swinging back and forth of staying, leaving, staying, leaving. And, finally had that breaking point where I was able to escape. And, yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. But yeah, like Dante, like for me, for example, it feels so much safer to be in that damaging position than to think of all the possibilities of what could go wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, having these conversations like this hopefully can make that one person just say, okay, I can take a baby step. I can move slightly in one direction without totally crumbling my world.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we always think we have to take major leaps, and
Okay, yes.
you will.
Baby steps.
Yeah, because I think you do end up crashing and burning when you take major leaps. You have to do the research. You have to do your homework, right? You have to, you know, like as Dante always says, you have to do A, B, and C before you can get to X, Y, Z. And I think that goes for mental health too. But I think we only see the insurmountable end of where you want to be instead of saying, okay, well, I got to take that step first. Like we can see the future, that's fine. But if we don't look what's right in front of us, we're completely lost.
Yes, correct. Does that answer your question, Dante?
Yo, that was deep. See, the reason why, like, one of the reasons why I love these kind of conversations is because of the fact of, I always say is our perceptions are always different. It doesn't matter what you went through. Like when I tell people my history of what I went through, molestation and everything, like even what she just explained, I still haven't experienced what she experienced, even though I had a bad experience. So it's good to get these conversations out so that other people know you're not alone, and that there's other people that went through what you went through. And all you have to do is talk about it. Find the right person that you can talk to get it out of you, because the more that you bottle it up, the more it's going to hurt you and harm you, because you're trying to think about it and you're not coming up with your own ways of getting out of that situation. So that's one of the reasons, like when I sat down with you and I had that conversation, I told people that was my favorite episode, because I knew that day on Good Friday, beautiful, we covered so much, but I didn't know how much we covered until I actually seen it again. And I was like, we covered everything. And I thought people would be more receptive, because like right now May is Mental Health Month, but I understand that most people don't want that mirror reflection. They don't want to face the reality of what it is that they're going through, and so they want to escape through drugs, liquor, television, social media. I get it and I understand it, but until we sit up there and say I need help, we're not going to see a difference. So that's one of the reasons why when a professional came on, because most females, when I be talking to them, they, oh, you think you know everything and this, and this. And I'm like, listen, you're not receptive because you're looking at me in one ideology when I'm sitting up there trying to help you and get you in a better place. And you don't understand, I'm trying to get you in a better place. That's what Beyond Eons is all about. We're just trying to help people get in a better place. Key, what he does, what I do, what Nikki does. Like, I don't do, well, I know how to train people in the gym, but Nikki knows the actual science and the nutrition of what it is that you need for your body to actually get you where you need to be mentally and physically. I just know how to physically work you out. And then with you, with the mentals, and with you, the psychology of it, it helps people, because like you have the passion that you have when you speak. Because even when Sunshine listened to you, she was like, that woman, I could sit down with her and actually have her as my therapist. And that's why I said I felt the same thing when I was sitting there talking with you. I was just like, you're welcome. You make me want to talk. You make me want to let you know, hey, I need help. Please, can you help me? And that's one of the things I admired about you that day when I talked to you.
Thank you, Dante. Good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. So, well, let's kind of go deeper into that about taking one step. So, like, I'll share, for example, for me, when I was trying to leave that marriage, I decided to tell someone else. And I confided in 3 friends, and I said, look, this is what's going on. This is my intention. I'm letting you know. I was starting the process of leaving. And it took another, I think, maybe 3 to 4 months after that to actually go through with it. But again, if you were to see where I was then and now, it's a dramatically different person. And Dante, I know you've gone through this. Like, people see you now and where you are, they don't realize where you've been. And it's
Right.
like they see everything, they don't see anything in between, so they think it's impossible. And I think most people do. They only see A and then they see Z, but they don't see anything in between. So for those of you guys who are struggling, just as an example of myself, that first step was communicate. You know, I wasn't in therapy. I wasn't, you know, I was just saying, look, I have an intention. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I started the process, and that allowed me to take that next step after. So I guess, Dante, what would be an example for you of anything that you've had in your life to get you where you are today? What would one of your first steps be?
Well, my faith is always my first step. And before she leaves, we would pray before she goes. Faith is always my first step because, again, I tell people this all the time. If you believe in the creator creates. The creator knows the beginning and the end. You don't. So even though you can't see the end and you're living in it, you have the hope of what is faith, the substance hoped for but not yet seen. So when you sit up there and you say, okay, what do I want to become? What do I want to achieve? You have to have that start point of saying, I want to do better. I want to see better. So when it comes to my faith and I say, okay, Lord, help me see what I don't see. Help me achieve what I can achieve. And it's the steps, like you said, that I'm making along the journey. Because one of the things I love about a snake that people don't realize, you notice when a snake they shed their skin, they never go back to the skin and say, I left my skin. They shed it off, what they shedded. And that's what it is, what we're doing. As we continue to mature, we continue to walk in our faith and walk in our direction, walk in our destiny. You don't pay attention to what you're losing. You're paying attention to what you're gaining. And it's like meeting you in the gym. When I met you in the gym, and look at the relationship we have now. I'm not paying attention to the people that I lost. I'm paying attention to the people I gained. So when I see that little hope and I'm like, wow, okay, look what you have done so far. What's next? So that's the motivation to be like, you know what? I can't wait to know what's going to happen next. Like right now, who would have known we would have been in a conversation like this after an interview? What's next? We don't know. So that's what I look forward to, the what's next, and that's what motivates me, and that's what I'll be telling people. Today might not look good, but tomorrow could be better. What are you doing today? Yesterday is yesterday. You can't do, like I told Sunshine every time we hang out, she noticed I don't take pictures of it. You know why? That moment was that moment. Let's create a new moment. That's what we do, create a new moments. And every time she's with me every day, we have more fun than we did yesterday. So that's what I would encourage people. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Learn from it. Apply it today so your tomorrow could be better.
I love
Awesome.
that.
I have to leave, guys. Like, I have another client's coming in.
No.
I know.
Okay, it's already
so
after
much fun.
9. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We will have you on another time because I want to explore this conversation a little bit more. Have a wonderful time at 1:15 with prayer and feasting, and we were so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Nikki, and then Dante. Nice to meet you again. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in and being with us today.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. All right, let's see if we can get Jakeem back on here. I don't know if we'll be able to, but if not, we'll keep going. Yeah, we definitely have to get
I said, Keem, do you have any questions?
silence.
No, he just paying attention. But nah, that's what it is, Nikki. Like, it's simple. Like, the thing is, you can't change your past. Like, what happened, and if you keep dwelling on it, what is it doing for you? That's why I sit up there and say, you know what? Learn from that and say, what do I want my tomorrow to look like? Because tomorrow's not here. We're still living in the present.
Right.
Tomorrow's not here yet. So you know what? I'm going to do what I need to do today to make sure my tomorrow is better. Like, what can I do differently? Like, we talk about going to the gym, going for walks, talking to someone, reading a book, certain movies, different things you could do. Like, one of the things I like to do is listen to podcasts and stuff, because I like to listen to different people's perspectives to better understand what it is that I might not understand, but I better understand and apply. But you know what? That might work for me. Let me take it and put it in my life and see what it do for me. Because there's a lot of things that I got going. Like you see with Sunshine when she got her certificate for her food.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling her. Like with social media, if you want to post something, post that. Post the achievement to let people know what you achieved. She keeps saying, "Oh, if it wasn't for you, no, you did it. I just helped you. That's what you did. I don't take credit for nobody else's accomplishment. You did. I didn't sit in front of that computer or whatever and did what you did. That was what you did. But we need that help, and that's what it is. Like, just get around people that want to help you, people that's in the best of your interest, and you want to achieve the goals that you want to achieve."
Yep.
And look, as soon as she did that, posted it, floodgate. She's booked. She's booked, and she's happy. Like, oh, then what she said? Oh, I want to get pairs. I want to be professional. See, that's what I'm saying. Once you make that first step and you get what you want to got, it's gonna open more doors to make you want to do better. And she could cook.
Yeah.
Good cook.
We will have to have a feast together then, because I'll try your cooking, sunshine. But I actually wanted, before Dr. Cynthia left, I wanted to ask her, but I'll ask you. You do shed that skin, but people want to go back to it in one way, shape, or form. They have those tendencies to go back. So how do we? So you make that step, you shed that skin, but then it's still, you miss that home, right?
Okay.
What happens?
Well, like she said, you're comfortable in your pain. So something that is familiar to you, you're going to always go to something that's familiar. Because the fact of the matter is that's what you're familiar with. And if you take one word, the unknown is very dangerous because you don't know what's coming. So I always say to people when I'm helping them is this: listen, you have two options, because you only got two options. The light goes on, the light go off. The only reason why I don't come on or go off is because there's an electrical problem on a light bulb. But that means there's a problem, so it's fixable.
Yep.
So you can stay a pig in mud and wallow in the mud if you want to continue, or you could eventually
Actually, pigs love mud.
Huh?
Wait, that's not good. I said pigs love mud. You need another reference.
No, but hold up though. You know why they love mud? Because that's what they're familiar with. They're familiar. See, remember, you're familiar with something. But there's a time, if you clean yourself off and you see the clean version of yourself, now it's a new territory.
Right.
You know what happens when you do that? More compliments come. People start recognizing and seeing, like, oh, wow. Like you with your transformation with your body. How many compliments did you get with your body when people say, oh, wow, old girl, look at you and everything? And what did it do? It inspired you to do what? Want to do more. Right. It's like when people tell me all the time when I'm going, you don't look your age. When I tell people I'm about to be 47, they're like, you don't look 47. It makes me want to take care of myself even more because, again, I see myself every day. I'm familiar with myself, even right now looking at the camera. But people are not familiar with me. So when I go out in the community and I talk to people, they're like, oh, I like the person that you are. I like what you're about. And they're receptive to talk because when they see, like, I want to know what makes this person who they are. Right. So then when I'm talking to them and I'm telling them, well, this is why I do what I do. You can do the same thing. Or we become friends. And it's like, I don't care your creed, your religion, your ethnic, gay, whatever. Like, we was talking to gay guys the other day, having fun with them, exchanging numbers and everything. And I'm just telling them, the difference you want to see is the difference you're going to make. So if you want to go back to that old skin, there's nothing wrong with going back to that old skin, but is it helping you produce a new skin?
Right. It does. And I'm a testament to it. But it was like, oh, let me dip back into that to see if it's still comfortable, if it still makes sense because it feels familiar. And then it's just like, no, it's not. I'm becoming that new person. I'm building that new skin, and this old skin doesn't work for me anymore. Right. So I think it's okay to go back because it's also confirming that it's what's wrong. It's not right for you anymore. And I think everyone has that cyclical journey. Some people just get out and just never look back, and I think that's amazing. But for some people that they keep getting on that hamster wheel.
Yes.
And I think that's a way to, if you're assessing throughout your journey and saying, you start to see patterns, right? And you start to see, okay, this isn't healthy for me. I'm trying to move this way, but it's pulling me back that way. And then I think at some point you're finally able to cleave yourself from that old skin. But it's not, I mean, it takes years and years and years for some people. But one thing I do want to expand on real quick is vanity, if you will. People have a hard time, like, there's such a people get such a rise when you use a compliment and run with it, right? For example, like your age, it's keeping you motivated to want to keep doing what you're doing, right?
Right.
I think that's a good thing. I think people should compliment each other if they see something that they like or in someone else. I think that's a way to bring each other up and support each other, not to make you feel vain or better than anyone. What do you think about that?
Well, one is what you do with it. I'm gonna say this again. One of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, even though Keem is not here, we're doing this for Keem. Like, I want to see Keem prosper. I want to see Keem in a position. The man's gifted. He's talented in what it is that he does. And I want the world to see his talent and his gift. So when it comes to somebody, anytime I'm getting an accolade, I get, oh, he's finally on.
We got him. We got him.
Anytime I get an accolade, I always put it to him because, again, what I do is for him. And I give all my friends, all the people that I'm around, like one of the people that we're in partnership with, Focus in Springfield, they just came out with a new reality TV show, and I called the person that created it, Allie. I'm like, yo, Allie, congratulations. You actually did something that nobody ever did before. You got a reality TV show. It doesn't matter what happens. You have that. Hello, Amanda. But so when it comes to accepting compliments, you can get big-headed, but what are you doing with it? And my thing is, what I do, strap the problem. What I do with it is I try to take it and apply it to other people, like I just told you with Sunshine. Like,
Right.
that she came in my life, like, I'm going to let her come on and let her tell the story. She'll tell you, like, you have been a great inspiration to me. No, all I was an example to you, and you took the baton and you ran with it. And that's what it's about, helping another person achieve their goals. Because here's the thing, she could surpass me in whatever I'm doing based on what she's doing, but that's her gift, that's her talent. Just like Keith, that's his gift, that's his talent. I want you to surpass me. And
Right.
and I'm not the type of person, oh, come back and recognize what I did for you. No. If I was able to help you get where you needed to be, and that's the difference, Nikki, about vanity. If you take it and you like, I did this. No. I helped you. You did it. I'm the cheerleader. I got the pom-poms. And I'm just, go keep,
Right.
go keep.
And I think it's cyclical because you're feeding off of what you're doing for others, and you're seeing that it's working, and you're helping others, and then it's making you want to help more people. And so if you're using it in a cyclical nature to expand that community and help others, and then that feedback and that love comes back, and it's just enriching, and it brings everybody up at the same time.
Simple.
Listen, I'm gonna need another session this week just from dealing with Instagram and trying to get on. I don't like Instagram at all right now. Like, I think we have to start, Nikki. We have to start at least a half an hour before the actual start time just to get the bugs out. Like, the first half of Wednesday Whispers is the bug session.
Right,
Let's
right.
move on to the bug session. We're trying to get everybody on. So yeah, 'cause I'm sitting here like,
You want
I have.
to say something?
I'm like, I wanted to scream. I just like, but I'm glad I got to see and watch the conversations. Like, I didn't really need to be there because it's like, that's my doctor. I already know how dope she is. I already know, like, when you asked her, you know, what is it like? How do you start off the session? It's like, I was like, it's dope. It's like, you just like walking, like you're sitting down in your living room. It's like, there's no expectation. She doesn't present any expectation of you. She wants you to come in and start talking. Like, it's literally like a formal introduction without it. It's like an informal introduction.
Mhm.
It's like, so what's up? But not that way. It's like, it's very more professional, but that's the vibe that you get from it. It's like, so we all know why we're here, so I don't have to say that part. Let's get to it. What's
I
up?
love that. And then
That's
it's like it all can come out. It's a space that you can just say, here you go.
I've had sessions where it's like, how are you?
Nah, yo, Nikki, when you sit, yo, that is a beautiful woman. She's, it's authentic. It's like you could tell whatever she's doing, it radiates off her. It's beautiful, beautiful. You don't see too many people like that, so that's why when you meet people like that, you want to celebrate them because you like. I admire the person you are, and it's an inspiration. It inspired me to want to be a better person when you sit there and meet a person like that.
Well, to me, it's coming from light and love, and not that anybody else isn't, but when you have a truly authentic person that comes from that, like she comes from a good place, like a good upbringing, a good family, like that's I think it's great because a lot of us don't. Well, I did, but I mean, a lot of us don't who are in this field. They're coming from a deep, dark place, and that also has its benefits because it's inspiration of getting you out of it. But her light's just shining out there, not unadulterated, right? And so I think that also has, its benefits on that end too. So it's a different way, a different process of being able to help others from just pure goodness, really.
also, I think it's based on her calling. Like when we in the first session or part one, when she was talking about how she was in the process of doing one thing, and then she realized towards the end of these programs that the kids didn't want to go home, and it's like it didn't bother her, but it resonated to a point where it's like there's something wrong, but I feel like I can address it. Something's telling me to go this way, and I'm gonna listen to it. It's like, and that happens in life if you're at a point where you can allow yourself to hear yourself tell you where you need to go. That's because you've gone through a process of healing where it's like you're at a level now where you can recognize where those natural signs are pointing you in a direction.
Right.
Like some people are blessed to have that, some people are led to have it. Like, and that goes back to the whole saying, like you can lead a horse to water but you can't make him drink. But the key part is if you can get him to follow you in the first place. If you can get the horse to follow you in the first place, you've already won half the battle. Whether they drink or not is up to them.
Yep. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's funny because I felt like I was open and receptive to Dante after a while. Like at first I was like, who is this guy showing me his music? Like what is going on? But the persistence and then the openness on my end allowed everything to come to fruition. And I think I'm actually at another crossroad. I don't know where it's going to take me as far as my career. But I'm just really trying to be open to that space, to allow it to come in, to let it grow, and which is super scary because I don't know where it's going to lead. But that kind of points on what we were talking about earlier, and that having that fear and, letting that fear, you're always going to be fearful of something, but you're suppressing it enough to, take that next step forward. So
I wouldn't say look at it. I wouldn't say suppressing the fear. I would say challenging the fear because like why am I scared of this? What is making me scared of it? Now I need to go and look at it. Like, all right, this makes me this makes me feel uneasy. Why does it make me feel uneasy?
Yeah.
What is actually happening on the other side, ding, of what I'm feeling? Like, why does this make me feel this way?
Right.
And I think that goes back to what Dante's saying. Like, not everybody is ready to look at themselves in the mirror. Not everybody's ready to accept that challenge to overcome what has been holding them back, even if it is themselves. And like more times than not, the person knows it's themselves. They know it's a part of them that they don't want to deal with, and it happens.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Here's a thought, Nikki, right? What you just said. All right. When it comes to marriage, no one can master a marriage because you can't master another person.
Yep.
So the thing about it is when you allow another person into your life and you saying, I believe in you to get me somewhere where I can't get myself, because that's what this person is a completion. That's the scariest thought because you don't know what this person is going to do. Like, nobody who married somebody thought that their significant other was going to kill them or harm them or put them in any danger. And that's the chance that you're taking. You're basically saying, I'm trusting you with my prized possession, my body, my heart, my mind, my all. So when you in those type of situations, and then you can take it and apply it to every aspect of life. When you're in those situations, you don't know what can happen until you actually make the step and the next step and the next step. And that's where the communication comes in. The communication comes in because when you tell somebody, if I told Keem, I'm feeling this way, it's up to Keem to take what I'm saying to him and make the adjustments with me and say, you know what, let's do this or let's do that. Now, if he sit up there and reject it, guess what happened? I go into my little hole. Why? Because the person that I'm talking to and I'm sitting up there saying, listen, this is what's going on with me. This is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm trying to cope. I'm believing that you can get me out of this situation that I'm in or help me see something that I don't see. And so you don't know what can happen until you take that leap, until you take that step. It's like you open the door, you don't know what's behind the door. You know how when you see a movie or you see something where they have all these different doors, and until you open the door, because you're like, what's behind this door? And I used to love when they have the monster behind the door. You open the door, you try to close it real quick. But until you open the door, you don't know what's behind that door. You don't know what's that destiny. So when you said earlier the A, B, C to the X, Y, Z, if I didn't take the opportunities that I took, if I didn't reach out to you, if I didn't answer the phone when Keem called me, what we're doing right now wouldn't exist.
Yep. Yeah, I love looking back at it that way because when you're in it, you're in it. You don't necessarily see all the things that are surrounding that are coming into play to make things actually happen. And it just evolves over time. And your persistence is obviously what pushed a lot of it through, but you didn't really know me. You couldn't count on me to do anything, but you're like, I see something, I'm going to, go after it and see what happens. And it all unfolded the way it has been, which is super cool. But you took the chance, you took the step. And I think that's what's the important part. And that's why I wanted to get down to the basics for both of you, actually, to help people make that first step. And yes, I think not everyone believes in God. Not everyone has faith. And so, Dante, I think that's an integral part for so many. But what happens for those who don't, who are just deep in it? What can they do to take a step?
Well, okay, here's something that I love. I love this right here. When I talk to people about God, they be like, I don't read the Bible because man wrote the book. I be like, well, didn't man write the curriculum of school that you go to? Don't man run media? So it's like, why do people want to sit there and say one aspect of I don't want to believe God because man wrote this part, but you listen to what man did to everything else, but that's another story. We got to get into that. But when it comes to faith, you got to remember something. It's something you hoping for that you don't see. So remember, what was your upbringing? See, if you came from an upbringing of pain and hurt, guess what you're thinking? If God was really of love, why would he put me through this? Because you already got a mindset and an ideology of God don't like me because look what he put me through. Now the question is, and I would say is, did God put you through that? Or did another person put you through that? So that's one aspect. The second aspect of that is this. Okay, so now, what characteristics do you really know of God? Because if you don't read the Bible or you don't really seek God's face, then you won't know his characteristics. So you're basing your characteristic of God based on your ideology of what you're experiencing, correct? So that's when you're going to say and take it and put it in your own way of how you're going to approach it.
Yes,
So
sir.
so now it's like this. Now, why did I say that? So let's just say Keem is God. I can come to Keem and I say, hey, Keem, how you doing? Whatever. But if I'm telling Keem how to think, am I really getting to know Keem and his ideology and his thought process? No. I'm putting my ideology onto him instead of understanding and knowing what it is that he will want me to know about himself. And that's what people try to do. They try to bring God down. If God's supposed to be this big existence, why are we bringing him down off high when he said, I am the most high? And that's what's going on with people when it comes to trying to walk in faith. You're trying to make God be what you want God to be, and not what God's telling you, I am. That was dope.
Smite. I smite thee. I'm God. Speak for me. But no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you keep going back to faith. You
I
have to start somewhere.
I
You didn't.
I'm,
Oh, go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
No, I was
What
going
do you
to say it.
Nikki, hold
How
up.
do you even get to that point?
Okay, Nikki,
Yeah.
with faith, you have to, okay, listen. When I came to you and said, hey, can you watch this video for me?
Right.
You could easily say, get away from me, Negroid. You could have said something negative. But again, I don't know what you was going to say.
Right.
I didn't know how you were going to be, but you received it. So right there, once you were receptive to me, it opened me up to you. Because if you would have just been like, nah, this.
Hold on a
Go,
second.
Keith.
So I think the point he's getting to is the faith that he had let him approach you in the first place. He went out on faith. But aside from faith in God, as far as a person getting to the point of getting help or how do they start, I think it's first recognizing that one needs help or recognizing that there may be something wrong. Like they have to acknowledge within themselves that there is an issue. There is something that is not sitting right with me. It could be a feeling that you don't have words for. It could just be an emotion. Like you can just be like, I don't know why every Tuesday I just wake up and I start crying from 8:30 to 10. I can't get out of bed. I can't move. Like it's something wrong. They have to recognize whatever it is that is not considered normal or something that is off with themselves. Like they have to acknowledge that there is a problem or could be a problem. And I think that for me, outside of faith, would be one of the first key signs or ways of moving towards that process of seeking help from someone
Right.
or finding faith, which could also lead to seeking help from someone else. Like these
Right.
things, they coincide. They're not. I don't see them as separate things. It's like that goes back to people's ideologies and views on how they see things. But like in their the roundabout sense of it, it is all one and the same. Like it is just everyone's perception on the process or the perception of the process or their intake or their perception of the emotion. Like we all bounce and back and forth between all of these emotions. We question, we doubt, we fear. We are no different, only by DNA, height, and gender.
Right.
And even then, there's a slim difference between an X and a Y chromosome and how much of it you got. Some got more, some got less. So we're all going through this same journey. Like it's, I think, which is where we're segueing into, but it's like it's the definition or the idea of people being separate, separate ourselves, which makes us alienate ourselves, thinking that we're the only ones going through what we're going through. And I think overall, if we could stop doing that and start recognizing people for people and seeing like, hey, it's like you literally living in a TV show. You don't know what episode that person's on. You're like walking down the street, they looking at you one way, you looking at them one way. You're thinking like, oh my God. They're thinking like, here we go. You're like, you don't know. You're literally walking in and out of people's TV show every day. Think about it.
Yep. What's the movie with Jim Carrey where he was put
Truman
his whole
Show.
life? Truman Show, yeah. You know, I have thought that so many times, like just that, like all of a sudden I'm gonna be on a TV screen, or like I'm gonna see like this patch of the wall that's like opens to a studio.
Between the Book of Job and the Truman Show, it's like, this is my life. Oh my God, like, this is what I'm going through. Like I'm waiting for the moon to blink. Like
Right.
they changed the light bulb. I caught it. I saw it. Yes, I think that was the premise of the movie. I think it was to like shine a light on like how individuals may go through. Like I think it was a metaphor for life itself. Like we're living this show. Like we're in our own adventure, so to speak, or like that's why I made the reference to like everybody, like we're walking in and out of people's TV show. We don't know who we're going to see or what is actually going to happen.
And who's actually in control?
Listen.
All right. So, oh my gosh, I have to go. All right. So we'll end it on that note. I know I realize it's already 9:30 and I have to get out of here. Okay. So what's next? We have
Anastasia. Whoa!
Yeah, Anastasia's next.
Yes.
So,
Politics
open
the usual.
Do you have a title for the show yet? For the episode?
open door policy.
Okay. I like it.
Ooh, show time. Politics,
Yes.
baby.
So Dante brought me in on this interview with Miss Anastasia Williams, and we had a great conversation with her. And we will follow up to see if we can get her on for next Wednesday. I think that'll be really fun to.
She got three. She got 3 episodes. Remember?
3?
Yeah.
Yes, 3 episodes.
Oh shit! Okay. All right. Well,
you know what?
we'll bring her on in 3 weeks.
Actually, you know what? Get her on next Wednesday, cause
Yeah.
I had a conversation like, get on. Matter of fact, talk to her every, cause me and her talk off camera. So talk to her and like you want to hear what she got to say. So
Breathe.
get her on every week.
Yeah, I love talking to her.
You said breathe.
Breathe.
No, it's
Okay,
like,
so I'll message her.
it's like I don't want to tell people's business. I want them to tell the business, but I'm just like, yo, I want her, cause like she's going through something. So Friday, like she's doing something Friday that's very important.
Everybody's business. Stop.
Okay.
I didn't tell you what it was.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so I will contact her. We'll get her on Wednesday and see all the good stuff that she's doing and what's new since we were over there last month. All right, guys. Sorry to cut. Well, we're not really cutting this short. We've been on for an hour now. But we will be back next Wednesday, hopefully at 10 a.m. If anything changes, we'll let you know. Gentlemen, have an amazing day. Thank you guys so much for.
Can you tell them what time we going? Tell them, because like good vibes. I love the energy. I'll tune in next Wednesday. We normally at 10 o'clock, but are we changing the time?
No.
As far as I know, 10 a.m. But
tune in on the YouTube channel. That's Beyond Eons Productions LLC on YouTube for the episodes every Sunday at 6 p.m. This Sunday will be the first episode of 3 Open Door Policy. Peace.
Peace. Bye, guys.